we now know you as one of the most eloquent, impactful, and deeply researched spokespeople of the BJP. And we'll come to how and who does your research a little while later in our conversation. I want to take you back to those years when you were in the Congress party. And, you had a chance to work closely with at least 3 Congress leaders that I know of. Digvijay Singh, Rajiv Shukla, and Manish Tiwari,
yes.
Right? Did you at that time believe in the Congress philosophy? You and your brother were even in the war room for the Congress party in the UP election, in the UP Assembly election at one point.
Right.
We'll get to why you left later. But when you first joined the Congress, when you first worked so closely with these 3 leaders, what did you feel at that time about the Congress party and what tipped it for you?
Why did I join the Congress party first? To even work as part of it in the student wing or the youth wing. Many years ago, when I was just a teenager in school, at that time when you read history textbooks and when you read a lot of things, you feel that the Congress party was the sole champion of the freedom movement. It has a deep impact on anybody growing up. And with that limited knowledge, one always feels that if a party or if an organization has done so much to attain us freedom, you are influenced by that, and therefore you want to join and contribute in the nation building process. You're obviously reading about Mahatma Gandhi, you're reading about other leaders of the Congress party, and therefore you join that organization to contribute in that same spirit. But even when I joined the Congress party and when I worked with these leaders, I would make it very known that it has to be talent that is recognized, because whatever I had read or learned about the Congress party, it was always a talent-driven party. You remember when Mahatma Gandhi and Lokmanya Tilak and all these stalwarts were in the Congress, they used to have elections. They used to have elections between Mahatma Gandhi, Lokmanya Tilak, Abdul Kalam Azad, Subhash Chandra Bose ji. But that entire process post the 70s took a downturn. Now, when Rahul Gandhi entered politics, he told a lot of us that he would bring it back to what it was originally, that he would allow merit to prevail, that it would not be surname or it would not be Papa's name, but it would be capacity and talent that would dominate. But then, after giving him 10, 12 years to work at it, because the Congress is like a Titanic, it takes time to steer the ship. Nobody's expecting, and literally it's meeting the fate of the Titanic or perhaps even the submersive. But having said that, one gave him ample amount of time to actually make those things possible. But what I felt and what I discovered was that even after 10 years, only what mattered was your surname. The entire Youth Congress, for instance, let me just give one example. We used to feel that, okay, chalo, now the Youth Congress doors are open for us, we'll contest an election. But the election system was so rigged that only a person who had huge amount of financial resources, and that could only happen if you were a second or third generational politician, that kind of person could contest. So most of our Youth Congress presidents were somebody's son or daughter. And therefore, he did not make it less feudal. He, in fact, made the system more feudal, where he would only surround himself with people whose fathers had worked with his father.
So remove your BJP hat for a moment and answer just as Shehzad. What did you think of Rahul Gandhi then? And what did you think of Rahul Gandhi, not now, because now we know what you think, in 2017 as you get ready to leave the Congress party?
Well, I always thought of Rahul Gandhi as somebody who was saying things, but I was waiting for the delivery of those things to happen. The things sounded very good. He would say that we want a system that allows young people to come in. He would say we want to give an opportunity to people at the grassroots. All of these things sounded very attractive. But was it being delivered within the Congress was always a question mark. And secondly, what I felt of Rahul Gandhi right from 2011 onwards was that he was not accessible. This was something that I felt within the Congress. And most of my colleagues felt that. He was not accessible to us. And perhaps one of the reasons was that my surname was not perhaps, say, a pilot or maybe some other family friend of his father's. Had I been a family friend of his father's, I would have got much more access. And therefore, what I came to believe and see with my own eyes towards the end of 2014-15 was the fact that Rahul Gandhi was not willing to change, and he continues to not be open to change. He may project himself in a certain way, but he is actually not open to that change, and therefore many people after me have left the Congress party as well.
You wanted to actually contest elections for the post of party president.
I didn't want to actually contest those elections. What I wanted to establish was that it was not an election. You can call a Tajposhi an election, it doesn't become an election. North Korea may call itself People's Democratic Republic of North Korea. It doesn't mean that North Korea is a democratic republic. And therefore, what I wanted to establish was that the Congress party was conducting perhaps the most biggest farce in the name of an election in 2017. And it got proven when the entire manner in which the delegates have to be elected. They can't be selected. The state presidents, if they are selecting delegates who are going to vote for the national election, and those state presidents have been selected by whom? By Sonia Gandhi. Who do you think they're going to pick as delegates? Obviously, those people are going to say Jai Rahul Gandhi. So where was the election for the delegates? There were no elections for the delegates.
When you were in the Congress and you still believed in the Congress model, did you ever have a proper conversation with either of the Gandhi siblings?
Yes. I told them that we can't go on with this kind of system. And I also went to the extent of saying that neither of them should play a pivotal role in the Congress party going further.
You said this to their face?
Yes, of course.
What was the context for you to say this?
The context is that if the Congress party truly believes in these large principles that Rahul Gandhi espouses, the charity should begin at home. The charity should.
And how did they respond?
Well, the response was that ever since I said that, there was only a manner of distancing me from every platform. It was taken, of course, on the face of it, no politician is going to say, oh, how dare you tell me this. But what they do is that they engineer and orchestrate the entire mechanism to sideline you. And therefore, I'll just give one instance. And I think back then you were working in the TV channel and Sandeep Hooker was your colleague. He filed a story about how there was a training for spokespersons at that point of time. And I was perhaps one of the best spokespersons, but they got my name dropped off. And Mr. Surjewala, lo and behold, his father was a family friend of the Gandhis, and Ajay Makan, who also had family relations with the Gandhis, were the ones who were heading the department.